Sir, haven't highlighted some of the laudable programs you have for your people. Are there any visible projects that we can see that you have done for the Okpilla Kingdom?
Yes, there are. I think this question will actually make me open up on certain things. You know, contrary to many people's opinion that we are on air, which is a development of the new system of communication, because Okpillas are all over the world. They must know, they want to know, it is their right to know what is ongoing in their domain. So the only way you can reach people is through ICT and the internet technology. So whatever we think is important, we bring it out for people to. But there were key things we were doing that we never brought to the public. And I think this your question now, make me just enumerate some so that our people will also know what we were doing behind the scenes that were never brought to the public. For instance, like I said, developments can only happen in an atmosphere of peace and security. One of the things we were doing then, immediately I ascended the throne, I knew of cases that were in Okpilla, court cases between interkindred, between communities, and I felt these things can be resolved. One of such cases is that there was a case between Ogriga versus Apokpilla in Ukomunyo versus Shaza in Ido. The person who was championing that of Ogriga is High Chief Ederifu Julius. And the one who was handling the one from Shaza in Ido is High Chief Jubri Momodu. These are fantastic village heads from very renowned home. Now, when I came up, it interests you to know that at the arrowhead of people who don't want me is High Chief Jubri Momodu. Yeah. But I didn't allow that to bother me because it is his right to say that he doesn't want me as a king. But the most important thing is that I want to bring peace to my place. I gave him a call. I called him. I said, Hi Chief, you have not even congratulated me that I'm a king. He said, we never reached that time. I said, okay, well, there is something I know that I want us to resolve. Leave it. You may don't come to my palace if that is what suits you. You don't even greet me if it suits you. I am nobody in the sight of God. I'm just a pencil in the hand of God. This kingship, royalty, and names, I'm not used to them. I said, but this matter that Shaza, Ogriga, and Ukomunyo, people are in the high court in Agenebode, I want it resolved. He was like, well, he gave his own line of thought. And one of the things I use in leadership is, if I can't reach you, I will find out that there are people who can reach you, who you listen to. Then I will reach out to them. I know he listens very well to Professor Umoru Godwin. He also listens to Shaka Dirisu, who is from his kindred. Shaka Dirisu he retired from Central Bank, and Professor Umoru, he is a professor of corporate governance. He's an authority in Okpilla. So I know he listens to them. So I called them. I said, please help me talk to this man. Then the Ederifu Julius, I have to exploit our bloodline, kindred lineage, and reached out to him. And I called him. I said, we can't continue like this. We can't have tensions among ourselves. This thing can be resolved. After 2-3 conversations with the Ederifu Julius, they agreed. And after those people have spoken to Muhammad Jubri, he also agreed. I said, you can continue with the Chief Joshua of Benin, you can continue to remove me. There's no problem. But for Okpilla to have peace, let us do this. And they agreed. I now wrote a letter to the judge, and that the judge should allow me to mediate. And I wrote to the judge obliged me that I can go ahead. So that was ongoing. I fixed several meetings. In fact, because of my disposition to it, Jubri even agreed that he will come to the palace. He said, I'm not coming to pay you homage, but to resolve this problem. I have seen that you have the interest of the community. That was ongoing. We were just at the verge of resolving it before this happened. Then I also understood that the Iyase people in Imekuri ruling house were also agreed that they have been abandoned, or they are the seniors in Oteku. And who is the oldest village head in Iyase? That is High Chief Musa Momo, a retired CSP of police. And I called him. I said, come, let's talk. He came with these people. We had a conversation. What are the things that you think can be done to allay those fears? And when they mentioned how they have been marginalized, how nobody wants to, I said, okay, no problem. The laws are made for man, not man for law. There is always a room for amendment. And I also know genetically that the Gyase are supposed to be in Oteku ruler, because they are scared that because they know them to be Ase, the Oteku, they will, if power comes to Ekuru ruling house where they are located, they will never have a say to become kings. So I now said, what if the Gazette, I talked to the Ido and Ukumunyo, and they agreed that you people should join us. They will create a ruling house for you people. He said that will be fantastic. You resolve the matter. So he said they are going to write, because they wrote to the House of Assembly. I said, yeah, they will, if that is agreed, once I settle down, that will also be resolved. That was done. And I remember I put a call across to the speaker, and I told him, I'm going to come with my people, but let me finish with all our persons so that we can come and resolve this Igyase aspect of it. Then I also knew that the Oku, who are locked in Ekure ruling house, are also not happy. Oku, to let you know, Oku were the Aboriginal group that Okpilla met in that environment. They are the Aboriginal group. In the actual sense of it, they are supposed to be our seniors.
Exactly.
But the principle of assimilation has now made them dissolve into Okpilla. You understand? But they have an identity, and there is a right of identity. And they also have a spiritual role they play in our kingship. So I invited them, and they all came. Their village heads, Isheshi, the Atogwa, the traditional title holder, and the women, the Igbide were there. They all came to interest you. Those were the first people who brought food to come and serve me. They brought yams, and I made sure I ate those yams. Even when people were saying, I said, yes, they are my people. And they came, they prayed for me. I said, what is the issue? And they told me about how they have been obliterated from the day that we met there. There is no even mention of Oku. That was their problem. Then they made a demand, which I also told them that, look, this will be difficult to meet. Because what they were even saying is that the title should be rotated between Oku and Okpilla. I said, no, that would be difficult. You want Okpilla people to... No, that would be that. Let me not promise you what cannot work. But we can make sure that the recognition and the chance of you Oku people becoming Okukpolagbe will be resolved. That can be done. And the late village head of Oku, High Chief Ugono, may his soul rest in peace, he has very sound children. One Andrew and the others. I know them. I had a conversation with them. Those were the wish of their father before he died. And I said, this can be resolved. So when I started pushing ideas, assuming, but not considered, that we speak to the Ekuri, we speak to the Igiase, or we agree that it cannot be called Ekuri Igiase ruling house. So that when it comes to that ruling branch, it will be alternating between the Ekuri and the Igiase. They seem to agree. I said, but I need to discuss with the Ekuri people. So we build all this, we build a consensus. So there we also have the Igafodio. They were also the Aboriginal groups who believe that there is no way, if it comes to Aoyemi, they will ever be considered. Even in Okukpolagbe, the Ukumu where I come from, there is also an Aboriginal group, the Epema, which is a word, Ipema, in Benin.
Ipema,
Yes. So we also met them there. And they also complained. Luckily, matrimonially, I'm from there. So the blood flows in my veins. So I said, look, we can handle this. So all these matters were at the verge of this, because I know that if you deconstruct these internal contradictions, you will have peace. Because these are the internal crises we have within, that is fueling people's anger, fueling the inability of us to forge a consensus as one people. So we're already dealing with such things. So that is one. The people are alive. I've mentioned names. You can reach out to them as a journalist to find out what I said, if they were true. I did all that. Peace building, consensus building, to ensure that Okpilla is peaceful. Then the second one I also did is decentralization of the administrative system in line with what is obtainable in Benin. Benin will have a central palace, the Oba of Omonoba. Now, if you look at how they administer Benin, Benin is administered into dukedoms.
Yes.
We have the Enoges in the various who preside over the lives of their people in their various. Not everything is brought to the Oba of Benin.
Exactly.
So I looked at it, I said, okay, is there any system we can arrange so that we decentralize administration? Not that somebody stole a good, you bring it to the palace, somebody and his wife are quarrel. There were so many things I was resolving. Somebody will take the phone and call, Your Highness, my wife insulted me today. I will beat him. I will say, okay, what is happening? There was a particular issue of a young man who accused his wife that the child the wife gave birth to, but they are still husband and wife, is not his own. And when I invited them and I was trying to find out, I found out underlying factors that these guys are hungry. I said, okay, let us deal with the economic issues first. I said, come, where are you working? He said he's no longer working. Where were you working before? He said you worked with a big global security. What happened? Did you steal? He said no, that he didn't come to work because of this his wife who was fighting him. The wife came to fight him, that he didn't have food to eat, and that's why they were sacked. I said, would you want to go back? He said, he now named that. I said, if you go back, will you settle the problem between you and your wife? Will you now accept that the child is your own? He said, I said, no. And I told the parent, I said, okay, tomorrow come with your parent and your village head. So the next day they came with the parent, both parents they came, and the villagers they came. Then I now told them, I said, this thing is that of hunger. So I can resolve the matter immediately. I pick a phone in their presence. I called the managing director of Pink Clover. I said, I am going to ask you for something. Though it is an appeal, but it's an appeal that you must comply with. He said, Your Highness. I said, okay. What you will do is that this person, I learned he was sacked. Whatever he has done, please forgive him. He's coming back to work. He said, Your Highness, it is done. That I should tell him to go and resume tomorrow. That matter was resolved. The son now is now his son. And so there are so many. I said, I should not be seen managing this type of petty issues. So I spoke to the village head from Oya in Ido. I said, please, these matters, I want you guys to be resolving these issues. Because we have bigger issues, strategic issues, economic issues, global issues, environmental issues that I want to tackle. So these things, I feel they are distractions. So what I tend to do is that I know the problem you guys have, economic power. You see, a village head is not able to dress well. He has no earnings. The money they normally pay them, because this council pay me 2 salary. I receive 2 alerts. I receive about 3 million for myself, then about 10% of it, which is about 290,000 for the village head. I also knew it was not enough. So whenever it comes, I would take the money from the 3 million and add. And I collected all their accounts. There are about 100 or so of the village heads in Okpilla.
Wow, they are much.
And credited them. When I was doing it, I said, no, many of them are not supporting. I said, yes, they are village heads. So then I now wrote to Boa and Dangote that, please, I want to decentralize administration. You are the one saying that Okpilla is not secured. And the root of this insecurity is that everything is centralized.
Yeah.
I want to empower these village heads to be able to administer justice, administer security, so that their local vigilantes can call them, say, your Zaki, so person, we did it, but we don't have so money to enter bike. You should be able to go to the house and say, take 5,000, go and buy fuel, go and run it before I hear. So this 20,000 naira I was paying them is not sustainable. Please, can you arrange? My target was 100,000 each. So I wrote to Boa, I wrote to Dangote, and I said, please, as a starting point, 1 million. Because my intention is that if I pick 1 million from Dangote, I pick 1 million from Boa, that's 2 million. Then I cannot add the 20,000 I was having. Then it will move to somewhere around 40,000.
Yes.
For now. Then when I strategically want to make my position paper note to this, because they need the security more than I do. The workers, their workers need to be secured. When there was a crisis one time when they were fighting, their workers could not go to work. I remember MDs of these companies called me. How do we resolve this? So they need the security. So if my approach to security is to decentralize governance and empower the village heads to maintain peace and security in their various villages, it is for their interest. I wrote that letter. Dangote responded. The first, they paid 1 million. The Boa, somebody there tried to stop it. But later they called that they should, 2-3 more they didn't pay. When they now called that they want to pay now, I said no, they should forget about it. Because I've already written a letter to their headquarters on the strategic one that will bet 100,000 per village head.
Okay.
And it was already receiving attention at the level of Abdul Samad and Aliko. I was already processing that. So when they now called my finance person, Honorable Nohali, Paul, I said, no, don't give them accounts. I don't want it. Let us continue. Our people are comfortable with this. So Dangote paid once. Somebody in Dangote also told the scatter and co to write a letter so that they can stop it. Those ones wrote a letter. It was submitted. I had a copy, which I showed to my villagers. See somebody who stopped your salary, but the money I can even give it to you guys, I will continue to give you. But there are letters at the level of the owners of these companies. So that is also an achievement. The village heads are aware. You can reach out to them. They will tell you this is what our highness was doing. Now, that also was a peace and security building measure. Now, for visible strategic things, recall that immediately I came, I said, let us have corporate Okpilla. The corporate face of Okpilla. It is not very sensible sending people who have not birthed or nurtured companies to go and face owners of companies. They will not understand what their pains are. And secondly, I will need a repository of Okpilla wealth that will outlive me. If God's willing, God's giving the best of health, I'm not sure I will live another 50 years. I'm not praying for that. But secondly, I don't even know my expiry date. It's only God that knows. So the little day I have, I must plan for what will outlive me. So immediately, I came up with the idea of ODIC, Okpilla Development and Investment Company. I didn't theorize it. It was registered. I got the chairman, Okpilla Body of Lawyers, made money available, went to corporate affairs, registered it. The certificate is here with me. I will make it available for you. Now, that company, my dream is that it can only be run according to global best practices. It's not going to be based on settlements. So in order to do that, I must make sure the best of minds of Okpilla run it. At the so we created 3 levels of management: the board of shareholders, which is all owned by Okpilla. The people were nominated by the village heads, so that the Okpillaness, the ownership, would belong to Okpilla. That was there. But the executive management, the managing director, the executive directors, must be Okpilla of impeccable character, of demonstrable success in birthing, nurturing, and succeeding a corporate organization. And in trying to do that, I must not consider who was supporting me and who is not supporting me. If I want a company that will outlive me. Now, it is an aspect of leadership that I learned. In this book written by President Bill Clinton, there is about 3 chapters dedicated to what we call principle of compartmentalization. That principle is a statecraft. It's a principle every great leader must practice. And he gave very lucid examples of great leaders that have practiced it. The craft of compartmentalization. What does that craft teaches you? It's a craft that enables a leader divide his heart into various compartments in such a way that what is happening in compartment A, you don't allow it to spill into what is happening in compartment B. That principle will enable me to see that you are my enemy, but I have something that you can do for my community, and you are the best of it. I will not allow the thing that you have done me, which is stored in compartment A, to affect how I decide you're coming to do something for the community in compartment B. So I said, let me practice it, and I have been practicing it. Once something is good for the community, and I know that you are the best, it doesn't matter if you are supporting me or if you even hate me. It doesn't matter to me. The most important thing is that asset in your body that God has given to you, I must find a way of allowing you to deposit that asset. Let me tell you how I practice that asset. When I scanned the entire Okpilla business, successful business owners, one name kept ringing, and that name is Harry Indogu from Ogute. It will interest you to know that that global publishing company called Metropolitan Publishers is owned by an Okpilla person. It's owned by this Harry Indogu. He's from Ogute. I've never seen him in my life. The only information people tell me is that he is with Danko, and Danko and though they are not supporting me. I said, well, they had the right not to support me. But this person who left Okpilla, went to Lagos, started a publishing company from the scratch and built it to be a global brand of publishing. That knowledge, that perseverance, that grace which God has given him, I need it. And that is the person I want him to be the managing director of Okpilla Development and Investment Company. When I mentioned it among my people, they were like, this man is not supporting you now. I said, that doesn't matter. How do I even reach him? Became problematic. Now, he is from a place. The oldest village head in Ogute, Chief Osheku, happens to be like a father to him. And I know he respects our elders a lot. A beautiful soul. I now said somebody to Chief Osheku. I said, hi Chief Osheku, help me reach out to your son Harry Idogu Metropolitan. That one called him. They spoke, and I now learned later that Danko is a multi-billionaire in Okpilla. He's the owner of Danko Petroleum,
Yes.
Gulfstream. He doesn't support me. He has his own candidates that he supports. In fact, it will interest you that he was out openly. And when people say, why are you? I said, no, he has a right not to support me. But this time, I learned that he is very close to Harry. So how do I reach Danko? I called him. He doesn't pick my calls. I said, that will not stop me. Then I now sent one of my aides, PPS. I want you to see these names so that you will understand how far we've gone. You can confirm them. My PPS, Jide Marcus, is also a boy to Danko. I now sent him to Danko. Go and see him. Tell Danko that I am looking for Harry Metropolitan to come and head this company. Can you help me talk to him? Jide went there, met with him, and Danko said something. He said, yes, I don't like this guy because he's very stubborn. He doesn't respect people. When he wants to do anything, he does it without looking at faces. I don't like him. But for some few months this guy is there, I am seeing him taking steps. If this young man can still send to me, despite that he knows I'm against him, and look for Harry, there's something about this young man I don't understand. I will do it. But meanwhile, tell him first to reach out to Harry by himself. If he has difficulty, he should let me know, so that I will now say he has told me. I said, fine, that's good. I went into serious prayers. And don't forget that the Okuanimyoke has put a lot of things on my body. If I talk to you, you have to agree. So one day I summoned the courage. I took a phone, I called him. And I greeted him. And I said, this is who I am. And I have said to Super, he agreed that yes, his daddy has already called him on the matter and co. He listened to me, 5-10 minutes of listening. He said, I don't like putting my hand in anything Okpilla Loluka before. But from what you have told me, I will use his language. Every human being is political. But from what you have told me, I am seeing passion. I've never met you before. But I am seeing passion in what you want to do for Okpilla. For the good of Okpilla, I accept. Okay. I said, fine, that's good. The next person I wanted to be in charge of business development, because he's a young man, he's a consultant to Central Bank of Nigeria, Sunday Olekwe. A successful businessman, very calm and brilliant. I said, yes, I want to see Sunday Olekwe. Then the person around there said, sure, you know that Sunday Olekwe is married to SS Afemike's sister. I said, SS Afemike has his candidate. I said, he has the right. Even SS Afemike's junior sister Anna is married to him. That's not my business. I will go and see him. They say, no, he's him that's supposed to come to a king. I say, no, that's not important. This royalty thing, leave it. Let me get what I want. I made a call to his brother, Benjamin Onekwe. And Benjamin Onekwe arranged the meeting. And I went to his office and I met with him. Sunday Onekwe is his name. An economist and chartered accountant by excellence. He listened to me. To be fair to him, he was very humble, he was very kind. Brought expensive wines and everything. Then he listened to me. When I finished talking to him for like 20 minutes, this young man spent his own 20 minutes to design a business plan for the company. He came out with everything he knows. He's a PhD holder in business development. Not only theory, his practices in his earning money. He's a millionaire through it. He spent He quickly brought out the total business plan. I said, fine. He said, well, I don't like coming out for obvious reasons, but my junior brother, barrister Benjamin Onekpe, will follow with you guys. And that one seems to also be very brilliant and understand these issues. That one agreed. So he attached that one to us and I left. Then the next person, I said, I was in Abuja. Let me bring in is Sani Zuwedu. He is an estate valuer par excellence. The biggest estate company owned by the owners of Nigeria is a director there. In fact, the managing director. If you go to Abuja, they design the entire Abuja, the big properties in Abuja, they own them. I said, I want to go and see him. Sani Zuwedu. Sani Zuwedu is also the present national president of Ido Community Union, Development Union. And somebody there say, I'm sure you know that Sani Zuwedu is a brother to Mohammed. Mohammed happens to be the owner of a company that I feel is enslaving my people, slave labor, which I said I am not happy with. Contrary to people's belief, it was not my intention to take any contract from anybody. All I wanted is do the right thing. Let my people not be slaves. If you are finding it difficult, you let me know. We'll go and talk to the owners of the company. This was my approach. But he never supported me. He has his own candidature. But I said that will not stop me. I call Sani Zuwedu. He's an elder brother by age, a fantastic, brilliant, very humble man. I went to him. He received us, and in the presence of the people that came with me, I made a brilliant presentation of what I wanted to be. And I said, well, your community has already nominated you as a shareholder, so you cannot be in the executive board, but I miss you, but you are going to be working for me. But I have also identified somebody in Ido, Dr. Engineer Nihad. He's a current certified engineer, a PhD holder in engineering, as the current director of works in Iyamo University. Okpilla has people. I have met with him, a brilliant guy. I now said, this person is from your domain. You are the president of the union here. I want you and Professor Moru to get him for me. He said, well, if he is to choose, he wouldn't have even chosen him, because he will be accused of nepotism, because the person in question is his brother. I said, it doesn't matter, but I'm recommending him for you, choosing for me. He said, Your Highness, if he's okay with you, that's fine. There, I put a call across to Nihad, and Nihad sent me his CV. Then I when I raised the concept of ODIC Limited, I had a conversation with Professor Moru. Professor Moru is a professor of corporate governance. He retired from University of Benin, and now he's a visiting professor to Engnr University. And he's a consultant to blue chip companies. When I mentioned it to him in writing, he sent me 3-page paper, which already analyzed and critiqued the entire organogram. I said, let me talk to him to come and become the executive director of corporate governance to set the company up. I was leaving. I went with Polaro Nohale and the chairman of lawyers, Mutairo, who went to his house in Ugbowo. And I had a conversation with him. After conversation, he gave me a book on corporate governance, a textbook written by him. When I went 3-4 days, I finished reading it. I called him. I said, I'm no longer seeking your opinion. You have been appointed. You be in charge of corporate governance. I said, Your Highness, if that is what you want, fine. So I now started scanty in order to, however, because Okpilla, even villages, rural houses, they have brilliant people. So you have to also be communally and politically correct. You can't put every in one side. Then there is another very versatile technocrat who rose to the position of executive director in Nigeria Breweries, one of the biggest companies in Nigeria. His name is Usman Fred. I've never met him in my life, but I've heard of him. He left there, he became the managing director of international breweries and many big brewery companies. He's a big guy. I got his profile, then I called one of the village heads to help me reach him. He spoke to him, he now called me. He said, I have never seen this kind of dream before, I want to be part of it. He sent me CV. Now, there is another person called Mike Abeke. He's a successful estate developer in Abuja. I invited, when I called him, I want to come and see. He said, no, Your Highness, wait, let me come. He came to my house. I said, this is what we intend to do. He said, I'm part of it. Then I said, we also want to internationalize this. I said, where are our people who are successful out there? Then this person's name came up, Sonny Bry. He's a successful lawyer in the US. Then there is another guy, Fraki Modu from Ido, who happens to be the president of American Nigeria Chamber of Commerce in Washington, D.C. I called him. After speaking to him, he agreed. Then Akajime Sunday is a successful tourist entrepreneur in Malaysia. I called that one. I said, please, the East, the Asia, they agreed. Then in the Middle East, we have one very young man, very dynamic young man, Hamza Momo. I said, handle the Middle East for me. So all these people, I thought that these are people that I know I can't control. They have their mindset, they are successful men in their own right, but I needed them to form a virtual management. Today, technology does not mean you must come and sit in one place. Using technologies like Zoom, Google Meet, WhatsApp, you can constitute a virtual office and work for the interest of our company. So I said that. It was a successful one. You have mentioned the names. You can reach out to them. They will tell you this is what happened. They have all agreed. Now, portfolios. Based on the counsel given to me by Sunday Onekpe, we now decided to go into portfolios. One, the mining portfolio. Because we are a mining community. Why can't we have a mining company? I also looked at, in Okpilla, apart from the two giant companies, there are millers before who were getting limestone and milling them. It constituted a very huge aspect of Okpilla economy because people get some local mill, sometimes China, and they have a mill. Before you know, you are having 10 workers who are taking care of their family through the mill. All of them, because these big companies have taken all the licenses and they have no capacity to get license, all of them have emigrated to Igbeshi. Okay. And they also have the problem of power. Do you understand? So the first thing I did, I had a conversation with one or two of them, one of who is even my PRO, Yakini. And I said, I can resolve this problem using the ODIC platform. So the ODIC platform, what did I do? We were able to know some vacant licenses of limestone in our place. About 8 cadastra. I said, what I intend to do, we applied so that ODIC will now have these mining licenses, because even the big companies are complaining that people are stealing their limestone. There are cases they brought to me where a driver who took a dumper to take a limestone from one point to the other diverted herself to these millers. I said, no, we can resolve this. You don't have to steal these guys' things. Let us get our own license owned by ODIC procure excavators so that these small millers who have run to Ikweshi will all come back, and I will get a land for them as a cluster. That land as a cluster, I will reach out to Boa to find out the energy they are producing that they are not using. You know, energy, if you produce it, if you don't use it, it becomes waste. I know they have gas turbines. Okay, can you give us 2-3 megawatts? I will drop it at a substation in that land, a substation. Then all these companies, I will almost empty Ikweshi. They will all come there, allocate land for them to come to the site where I have a license, where ODIC has a license, and you just buy. You come with your tipper, excavator, cut, sell for you, then you go and mill a bag and sell. I envisage more than 1,500 workers that will be engaged in that place. What now happens? If I do that, if you come to the mining site, you pay at a very subsidized price, and you to go. At the gate where these tippers will be going, I will put a toll gate there, so that ODIC will be getting money. From there, I will be getting money, and from the mine, the boy at Dangote will no longer complain of their minerals for their missing. These people who have miners will now become another big economy in our place, so that little by little will be taking out poverty. So that was already done. We are just waiting for the mining license, just the way the corporate affairs license came out. We are just waiting for the mining license to come before these people got the governor to take me out. So that is a very big milestone that we have practiced. Now, there is one we were trying to do, the talent management. I also discovered that our people, they are very wonderful, talented persons. One day when I was discussing about talent management portfolio, one day I have heard of a lady called Queen Ebigesi. She's one of the topmost Nollywood successful people. Right now, I think she's the president of Actresses Guild of Nigeria. She's the president. So I said, let me look for this woman. So I made the query. She's from Imegele. I made the queries from the Ebigesi family. I was able to find her a number, and I called her, and we spoke on the phone. I said, this is an idea. I want to create a talent management portfolio, and I want you to run it, so that anytime we see talents coming out of Okpilla, you will help us propel them. She said, this is wonderful. This is her program. So she sent me a couple of her program, feeding of widows and all that. And I said, whenever I come to Lagos, I will see you. So when I got to Lagos, I invited her. She came. Within a period of 30 minutes, I saw that Okpilla has an asset that they were wasting. And she was shocked that I could find her. She now gave me programs and everything. I said, okay, what do you do? Give me a proposal that will help train a minimum of 200 people from Okpilla. There are so many variants of entertainment now. In the entertainment industry now, the one that is making money is skits.
Yeah, skits.
So he has the package, the training package. They are going to bring all these Agudai, all of them. They will bring them for a 1-week training for skit making, film making, and all that. It's going to bring in a lot of Nollywood actors to make people like Ramsey Noah. She has actually contacted them, and she sent the proposal to me. Oh, where do we do it? I say my one of my aides, Mutaro Aliu, has a hotel called Big Shot. They have a hall. That will be the training point. We will get security. You will sleep in that hotel for that 1 week. The proposal was not more than 20 million naira, and we have found the money. That was ongoing. Then during that time, when I was going through, one night my wife just, because she's also a very sound talent hunter, he said, Darling, come look, have you seen, they say these guys are Okukpolagbe. I say, who? A gospel singer, Ruth James. She sang a very beautiful sonorous song on Facebook. I said, okay, how do we reach out? We don't know. Through James, we don't know because there's a way you will put your name, I will know where you come from. So I now went to her page. I inboxed her a message, a DM, and she responded with her number. And I told my wife, manager, call her. He called her, she said she was in Port Harcourt and all that. That's okay. What is your problem? I want you to be like Chiwen. I want you to be like these big gospel musicians. You have the talent. She now told me finances, inability to get a good producer to sign her. I now said, okay. Chiwen was a lady, that was the lady I wanted to bring to honor my mother. My mother died as an evangelist. She's a global musician, gospel musician. I've actually paid. But when they now learned that it was not Benin, they said they can't travel that road. They returned the money. I have to now get a Benin woman. We look for her name now. Kakaki.
Okay. Mama Kakaki.
Mama Kakaki. She was the one I finally took to Okpilla. Because that's what I wanted to honor my mother with. Okay. When I now called you and I said, who produces you? He now measured one big name from Calabar. I will find the name now. He said, but you have one of the biggest gospel producers in your place. I say, who? He said, Apostle Suleiman. If you can reach him. Say, many of them, he's the one that is promoting them. I said, Apostle Suleiman. He said, yes. Apostle Suleiman is my daddy now. He's my papa. I will find him. Immediately, I just inbox Apostle Suleiman. I said, look, then I forwarded the lady, I downloaded the video, I forwarded it to him. I said, this is a talent from Okpilla. Please, I want her to be promoted. He's a fantastic pastor. He said, bring her to me. I said, okay. My wife now called the girl. The lady was in Port Harcourt. She has to come down home. We attended the church together. I took her to Apostle Suleiman. When we went there, Suleiman look, he said, Kai, there are about 8 procedures you are supposed to pass before you can reach to even see me. The company, with all the gadget equipment and international connections are there in Auchi there. But this one now that your highness has just broken all your protocols is a grace. He now called the managing director to come. Immediately the managing director come, he now heard her and handed over her. Say, prepare her, tutor her, and let us sign her. So as we were leaving, she just lied down. She was crying. I said, no, it's God that has helped you. So it was when we were leaving. She now introduced, she called her elder brother and sister to attend the church. They said, this elder brother is attending this church at home. And I look and say, but I know you. He said, yes. Yeah, but you are Imioko. He said, yes. I said, you're Ediawe. He said, yes. I said, Ruth, are you Ediawe? He said, why are you not putting Ediawe? You are even my sister. You are a daughter to me. Oh. And I went back to Apostle Suleiman. He said, you see, you were doing something from your heart. You didn't even know you were doing it for your own daughter. We all went to the studio together. We met they conducted us around the state-of-the-art equipment. And I left her there. And today, she just called me one night and was crying. Daddy, I have been signed.
Wow.
In the next couple of years, I will forward the link to you. You see what that young girl of 22, 21 is already blowing across Okpilla. So these are the things that we were doing that were yielding results. Then the issue of empowerment of women, which I started. I said, okay, let's target 1,000 women, especially widows who don't have anybody to cater for them. We got them. We did a package. I'm not a local person. I have contacts. Over the years, from here to US to Europe. I normally leave a very good name anywhere I go. That's why I can easily go back if I see a need for it. So I said, okay, there are organizations that we can reach to empower women. One of the things our women do, a lot of them fry gari, a lot of them make oil, palm oil. Okpilla, we call it Okpilla set oil. It's the best oil in the world. If you use it once, you can't use any other oil. It's Okpilla that produces, especially those from Ogute. Okay, it's their heritage. I don't know how they do it, but if it is on that road, you are here, you perceive the aroma. You don't need to use, in fact, it looks like you are wasting it. If you use it to prepare stew to eat yam, you just use it directly. And they have the deeper one they call orere. These are the food I eat. I'm not used to all this English food. I understand it. I said, okay, they know that when we assess all of them under the ODIC, then the ones who try gari, we no longer able to farm because of Fulanis, herdsmen and all that. But I also understand that Edo State, especially Edo South and Esan, is a large bed for farming. I know cassava. You need five trailers of cassava today. You want farm, you have them. I'm also a very big farmer here. I have a very big farm, cassava farm here in Benin. The land is so fertile. You don't need fertilizer. You just plant and you just uproot. Now, what is the cost escalators of moving cassava from here to Okpilla? The cost escalator is transportation. You will use almost ×2 of the money you used to buy it to transport it, and that will now make it non-profitable. And that's okay. What do I do? Boa, Dangote, your trailers that normally carry cement to Benin, can we make an arrangement with the logistic officer so that we can buy enough cassava, like 2, 3, 4 trailers here, where they are going? They will just take us there. We'll just give little logistic to these guys. I drop them at our market and share them to all these women. 3 wheelbarrows. You just share it to them. That's the investment, the seed. When they produce, we get that they back them instead of trail, opening, exposure. No. We brand Okpilla special gari and all that. Give to them. They produce and bring it to the market. Where you now sell, you now gather money to give to to the person who is coordinating it, so that the next trailer that is coming, you have it. So if you give them money for 2 trailers, for 2 wheelbarrows, you have it. So these were the things we were doing. We will do it for oil, which will also come to the Benin here, because the problem they are having there at Ogute is that they don't have the baga again. Because they don't farm baga in my place. It's the natural ones.
Okay.
So I know that if you go to Okomo or this place where they are farming, you buy enough baga and take it to them, de-escalate the cost by removing the transportation component, and give it to them. And these people will now become millionaires by milling and producing special oil, millionaires by milling and producing special gari. Then there is also the component of plantain chips. In order to make Okpilla a hub for plantain, fried plantain chips, where we go to Sobe, I buy them in bulk, I bring them to Okpilla, share to these women, and let them be prosperous. It's a portfolio under ODIC. And these people will have a small percentage will be remitting to the company to enable us run the management. So we've done a lot of things. These things were ongoing without people knowing. But these guys did not even allow me to settle down. There is a proverb in my place on Rekpekia Elaliali, meaning the person where they work out with tiger and meet the chop. So you can see that when I was inaugurated, because if you see the people around me, brilliant people who want peace, who think, when I sit with those people, when I make calls and I listen to counsel, I get good counsel. So I come out with good decisions. I have a clear mandate, a clear mission to free my people from enslavement and chart an economic, a socio-economic direction for my people, so that Okpilla will not continue to be in the news for the wrong reasons. This is what I have done. And so many of them that this you may not have the time to listen to. So these things were ongoing, but people were not aware. They were not on the news. I have told you about the issue of how people detecting the training of those.
Spoke about that.
You see that these were multidimensional approach to resolve the contradiction of Okpilla. We are nice people. We are wonderful people. But these people have come to paint Okpilla as a place for... No, we cannot have the gene of Edo, the gene of Benin in us, and be as if we are from somewhere else. Edo is known for excellence. That's our roots. We is known for activism. You want something, the right thing to be done.
Yeah.
Always. You need... Rights must be protected. That's who we are. That is the Edo in us. And when I took it, I felt I have a mantle. The number of days, the number of years God will allow me on earth, I must spend every single hour thinking of how to resolve the socio-economic problems in my place. I put Okpilla on a path of security, on a path of prosperity, and reconcile them back to the Benin Kingdom where we came from. This is...
Thank you very much, sir. The whole idea and the programs you have for your people are quite a lofty one. So we pray to God that the judiciary should do the needful by reinstating you as the Okukpolagbe of Okpilla.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, my brother.
Nice to have you.
All right.